I've never been the type to stir drama. At 63, I'd earned the right to choose peace over petty arguments. But some people, namely my daughter's husband, Evan, seem determined to test my patience every time we share a room. My daughter Lily married him 3 years ago. I tried to like him, truly, but there's something about the way he carries himself, like he's perpetually auditioning for the role of most important man alive, that grates on me. He interrupts, corrects, condescends, all with a smile so smug I wonder how his face doesn't melt under the weight of it. Still, for Lily's sake, I kept my mouth shut. Until last Saturday. It was supposed to be a simple family dinner at their house. A cozy, early spring meal. I even baked my caramel pecan pie, which Lily swears is better than anything she's ever tasted. The moment I walked in, she hugged me so tightly I nearly dropped it. "Oh good, you brought the pie," she said. "Mom, you're a lifesaver." Behind her, Evan raised an eyebrow. "I'm sure it's edible," he said with a little smirk. Strike one. I smiled politely. "Don't worry, Evan, it doesn't bite." He grinned, "Just making sure you didn't." Lily shot him a look, but I waved it off. I dealt with worse, or so I thought. Dinner was beautiful: roast chicken, garlic mashed potatoes, lemon asparagus. Lily had become such a wonderful cook. I told her so, and she glowed with pride. Then Evan cleared his throat dramatically, like he was about to deliver a TED talk. "So everyone," he began, spinning his fork between his fingers, "Lily and I were talking earlier today about improvement." I took a sip of water. "Improvement." "Yes," he said, leaning back. "Self-improvement, leveling up, becoming better versions of ourselves. I mean," he gave me a pointed look, "some people get complacent as they get older." Ah, there it was. Lily's eyes widened. "Evan." "No, no," he said, raising his hand like he was moderating a debate. "I'm just saying not everyone stays sharp or relevant." He meant old, he meant me, and he wasn't subtle. Strike two. I placed my fork down gently. "Are you trying to say something, Evan?" "Oh, not at all, Linda," he replied, using the tone people use when they pretend they're being innocent. "I mean, look at you, you're doing great with technology now. Lily told me you finally figured out how to use that online grocery thing." He chuckled. "That's adorable." Adorable. I felt my jaw tighten, but my voice remained perfectly calm. "Well," I said, "we all do our best to keep up." Evan nodded slowly, clearly pleased with himself. "Exactly, that's the spirit." I could have let it go. I could have pretended it didn't bother me. But then he made the fatal mistake. He clapped his hands suddenly, making Lily jump. "Oh, that reminds me, Mom," he used the term even though he knows I can't stand it coming from him. "I've been meaning to offer you some advice." Advice? From him. I smiled sweetly. "Do tell." "Well," he began, swirling his wine like a man who thought he owned vineyards, "I think it would be great if you started taking some classes. You know, something to keep your mind active at your age, maybe knitting or water aerobics, something simple." Simple. Because I was old and fragile and irrelevant. Strike three. I leaned forward. "Evan, that's thoughtful of you, truly, but I'm not sure I have the time for that." He raised an eyebrow. "Why not?" "Oh, I don't know," I said casually. "My schedule been much busier lately since I've been consulting more for the firm." His smile froze. "The firm," he repeated. "Yes," I said, sipping my water. "The legal tech startup, the one your company tried to acquire last year." Lily bit her lip to contain a grin. Evan blinked. "You consult for them?" "Oh, darling, not just consult." I tilted my head. "I helped write some of their early cybersecurity protocols back when you were still in high school." He choked on air. "Wait, you worked in cybersecurity?" "For 30 years, I said. "You never asked, you were too busy explaining to me how Wi-Fi works." Lily let out a tiny victorious squeak. I continued cheerfully, "And as for taking classes, well, I am teaching one next month. Advanced encryption in modern cloud infrastructure. It's a bit more complicated than knitting, but I manage." He stared at me speechless. I wasn't done. "Actually," I added kindly, "I recently reviewed some of the architecture your team submitted for that government contract. Interesting work." He swallowed. "You reviewed my work?" "Yes, I flagged 6 vulnerabilities," I smiled. "But don't worry, it's nothing you can't fix if you take a few classes." Lily covered her mouth, nearly shaking with silent laughter. The room fell quiet, deliciously quiet. Finally, Evan cleared his throat, his cheeks now a color I can only describe as embarrassed tomato. Well, I didn't realize, he mumbled. That's all right, I said, patting his hand. You're still young, you'll catch up eventually. Lily burst into open laughter then, unable to hold it back any longer. She hugged me from the side. Mom, you're amazing, she whispered. After dinner, Evan avoided eye contact while he helped clear the table. He seemed humbled, maybe appropriately so. As I put on my coat, he approached me like a puppy that had been scolded but wasn't sure why. Linda, he said quietly, listen, I'm sorry if I came across badly earlier. If I repeated. He winced, okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have talked to you like that. That's true, I said, but apology accepted. He nodded, relieved. As I walked toward the door, I glanced back and added, oh, and Evan. Yes. Next time you want to put someone down, make sure they're not standing on higher ground. His mouth fell open, Lily snorted, and that, I decided, was a perfect note to end the evening on.